All right, so we're here. This is Abitcus. This is going to be our audio cast. We're going to be putting it on the web. We're first going to start out on our YouTube channel, so you're going to just be seeing a bunch of pictures.
Yeah, but we're doing a little more than the Bitcoin. We're doing a little tech, right? A little tech.
Yeah, this is a tech talk. We love Bitcoin. We love cryptocurrency.
But we love tech.
We love tech, so we love drones. We love everything about just tech. Whatever you got tech coming up. So, but we are going to start Bitcoin today because we have this topic of the undercover agents or DE agents or these federal agents being caught with Bitcoin, jacking Bitcoin, corruption scandal. Of course, you knew it was going to happen because, no one was doing it. No one was overwatching someone else. And it's just amazing how these guys went into places like Bitstamp and things like that. And they wanted them to erase all their transactions and all this kind of stuff. So where do you guys think it's going to go from there? Are we going to, does Bitcoin now have a platform to say, hey, you guys aren't as squeaky clean as you said you were, and you guys are using our stuff?
Well, it's not only that, but, you bring up a really good point, but
I think that's a huge part of it. That's
but I think the fact that NSA, government officials are using this technology is proof that it's worth. It's obviously there's some feature, or else they wouldn't care about it. If it was a POG or a tulip for those out there, then they wouldn't want it. Why would they want a Bitcoin? No. So obviously there's some value behind them, using these Bitcoins or stealing them. And Ken brings up a great point about this is why, someone needs to oversee what's going on because, look, they're trying to cover up their tracks and,
Well, all I hear is that these federal agents discovered how effective Bitcoin is as a payment system, how effective it is at being able to maintain your privacy. And what they did was they simply went, oh, I'm going to do all my shady shit and use Bitcoin. And no one's going to know about it. But they, of course, the truth caught up to them.
Now, did they mention how many Bitcoins were stolen?
No, and actually, it was known through the Ulbricht case, the Silk Road case, that this was known. So now what happens to him? Is he going to get off now because,
you're talking about Charlie.
Yeah,
Good old man Charlie.
Yeah, Ulbricht from
Charlie's,
Silk Road.
Charlie's going to be doing some time, right?
But we don't know now because these agents stole Bitcoin during the investigation.
Wouldn't this also be kind of like tampering evidence?
That's what people are asking for. Thanks for ruining the show already, Ravi.
That's Ravi. He's our little sidekick here.
Well,
everyone's got one.
I had to Google some laugh tracks and sound effects and stuff. Right?
But Shrem, he's supposed to be serving, 10 years?
Something like that,
and he's only going to be serving, he said, pretty recently, that he's only going to be doing 8 months now.
Wow. Well, as he should.
And the facility is a low security place that they put him in. But he's going to have 2 to 3 cellmates. He's gonna have access to a library.
He was a rich guy, so he's having roommates. The guy had $800 million, right, or something like that in Bitcoin.
I don't think it was maybe back when Bitcoin was in its prime.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like they said at worth he had like that much, right, or something. It was like 80,000. I don't know. It was a lot of Bitcoin. The guy had a lot of money, but he was living in some apartment with roommates in San Francisco. Or Palo Alto or Northern California, wherever it is.
Well, because, it's especially in the early days of the Bitcoin economy, you couldn't just go around spending your Bitcoin all willy-nilly. like you can today. Now you could get bed sheets and all kinds of stuff for your house and live in a really nice place, all via Bitcoin. But back then, this guy was skating through, so splitting it with his roommate who leased the apartment, and he was just paying him cash. He had to probably go out and hustle some way to sell his Bitcoin to get some cash in hand.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was a different time then. I wonder how he's going to adapt to the new Bitcoin ecosystem.
Well, I'm sure he'll stay up to date. I mean, they're going to have... He's probably going to go to a private jail. I mean, the guy's got to have some money, right? He's got to have some cash.
He's got to have some cash. He's going to put, there are no fences at the facility. He's going to have baseball, basketball, tennis, and a library, he explained.
Wow. Well, so he's paying for his own incarceration then. It's a private jail, otherwise known as white guy jail, that you get to go to, and you get to get lobster and steak and...
Or a lot of our financial thugs and goons are kind of chilling.
Yep, exactly.
Madoff and whatnot.
Yep, Enron. Yeah, Madoff. I mean, it's like, look at Madoff. That guy, he ran that scheme, Ponzi scheme, or whatever you want to call it, for like almost 40 years, they think, at this point. And now they're going to jail him at the end. And where's he going to go? Some luxury hotel that's a quote-unquote jail. And he's just chilling there with other buddies. And what else is he going to do? He's an old guy. You know, he's over and done with. But...
Well, I think you still run the risk of being raped. I think that, I don't care what jail you go to, you just got a bunch of dudes all showering together. And running around in the yard, working out together, doing all that stuff. Yeah, everybody's got to shower together, and that thing? It's shower time. It's chow time. I've never been to jail, though, so.
Yeah, let alone
I've never even been, I've never even been, like, in holding or the drunk tank or any of that.
Right. And so now to switch off a subject of that, we got, some feds demanding Reddit to identify some dark web drug forum users.
Wow.
Now, how is that going to affect that situation? Because Reddit, you know, you it's kind of got that anonymous feel to it. It's forums.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Everything you do on the internet, you're tracked by an IP. So... They'll be, since they aren't able to identify these people on the black markets themselves because they mask themselves in anonymous networks and whatnot. But, you know, if you're hitting Reddit and you're not using a VPN proxy, then, your tracks are going to be revealed. So I guess I could see why the NSA is targeting Reddit, because, you know, it's like, I feel like Reddit is the 2015... of the forums back in the day, you know, in the late 90s, early 2000s, forums were big, and now Reddit's the new media platform for, you know, peer-to-peer content.
Right, and for our listeners out there, Mike, you had mentioned VPN. Could you please explain to them what VPN is?
So VPN is a virtual private network, and VPN allows you to mask your identity and hide your IP address from one end to the other, and it'll allow you to do all of that without, your ISP being able to track your footprints. There's multiple different services out there. You got private internet access. You got HMA, and you know, you're paying $5, $10 a month, and you're essentially gonna have your information private. So, which, I mean, is a big deal. I think going forward. I mean, AT&T, not to get off track, but AT&T recently announced that they're going to start giving promotional offerings. And essentially, if you don't use their VPN service, they're going to if you don't use a VPN service, they're going to sell your content, your browsing history, your search terms, They're gonna sell that.
My search terms,
Search terms.
like everything I've searched on the internet.
But it's more of whenever on your AT&T is doing this new promotion test areas where if you read the fine print, they have this new bundle, and it essentially says you're selling us your information, and we're gonna discount your service every month.
Oh.
So essentially, pay us more. We'll discount your service your month to month. So you're only gonna pay $30 instead of $100. But we're gonna track all of your information for our use.
And then sell it to other marketing firms.
I don't know if they're gonna be selling it, but who knows? It's got to be valuable because they want to collect it. So I feel like it's valuable down the road at some point. All users and information content, but if you look at, for AT&T to be like, that's like holding a gun to somebody's head and saying, "Hey, do this," or like, I don't know how this is gonna play on a once people start to hear about this. Would your parents, would they offer the promotional? And it's a real obscure name. They're doing like data program, something like that. An interesting name, but it essentially is like, yeah, we'll cut your bills in half if we could sell or we could use the information.
Well, it's data collection, and that's what the internet is right now because, well, it always has been. Let me rephrase that. Because like in 1991, I read this research paper that this company called Network Solutions was hired by the United States government to just data collect, to just start collecting data on internet users and what they're doing and everything like that. And so that's what Facebook is. Facebook is data collecting your daily life.
Yeah.
Instagram, all those things.
Social media,
Snapchat isn't, I guess. I don't know what really goes on with that whole situation, if they have it on like a central server and it's all whatever it is. But, however, Facebook, these other social mediums, they are tracking their data collecting and they're selling your stuff to I don't know, probably to the government. Facebook is a huge social experiment at this point. Because it was so big, everyone put them... MySpace kind of started it a little bit, but Facebook was the first one where people actually put themselves out on the internet.
Billions of people.
When you went from people being anonymous and being like, sexy curly Q 97 on AIM and stuff like that into, hey, this is me. This is what I
wear
like
every day.
Yep,
this
boom.
is what I drive. These are the places that I go. I go to this restaurant. I go to this area. I go on this vacation, and it's getting a lot of people in trouble too. Politicians are getting in trouble for taking pictures of real personal things. Didn't we just have the Tom Brady? He was caught jumping off of a cliff on Snapchat.
Yep.
Like this technology wasn't around 10 years ago. And now everything's like, here's all my information about my life. Here, Facebook, Snapchat.
Or not even about my life. Someone else can record my life and put it on there for me.
Yeah, well then that gets to a few issues of surveillance and the wave of that whole
big data.
Big data.
So
just linking it all together.
Sam.
Well, that's
why it's important to use a VPN. Back to your point, but yeah, VPN. Great technology, and it's going to be more and more kind of advertised and marketed to our lives because it's a great solution. Cell phones, laptops, great.
Mike, I want to get a VPN. How do I? Where do I begin?
So, like I said, there's HMA. Called the Hide My Ass, HMA stands for .com, or you could use private internet access. There's a bunch out there.
I saw ones that accept Bitcoin, and they're out of Switzerland. So wouldn't that be the route you'd want to go? You pay in Bitcoin, you pay your VPN in Bitcoin, and then...
Yeah, well, private internet access actually accepts Bitcoin.
Okay, so private internet access accepts
So that's
Bitcoin.
one of them.
And you're looking at 30...
I've used them for... some time.
What's it like, $40 a month or something like that?
No. It's $5 a month.
Oh, $5 a month.
$5 a
$5
month.
a month.
$5 a month, and your data is, it's not 100% secure, but it's essentially you're taking a one connection, point A to endpoint B, and it's secure and encrypted, and essentially just shows their servers being used on the internet instead of yours from AT&T or Comcast.
Is there more powerful ones where, like, if you pay more money, you're like completely encrypted?
So VPNs, although they provide a great advantage in terms of privacy, a negative is that it is also it's sometimes it's a slower speed than what you would get without a VPN. So essentially, you're getting slower speeds, but you're getting encryption, and that's because the encryption takes time. And technology is still being developed to accelerate lines on virtual private networks, but I know for a fact it's being used.
So there
Accelerating
you go.
VPN traffic. I have a little knowledge in that department.
Really?
All right, so we're
just wants to stop talking about it now.
we're gonna jump off that, and we're gonna head into Elon Musk and Tesla making a new announcement that they're going to release a new product that's not a car.
Whoa, really? I didn't hear about this. What?
So,
what is it?
They are going to reveal that on the 30th of April. And it's, who knows what it is? Elon Musk, the genius, once again, with Tesla and everything else, is
so you're saying it's a new major product? You're saying
that is what was stated. Was that it was a new product, but not a car. So
what would you think, Robbie? What would you think it would be?
I think he would.
You thinking drones?
I'm thinking
he's in the
actual household Tesla coil that runs off of a solar panel.
Oh, so the
what do you think,
consumer. You know what? That would blow my mind, and I would be excited for that.
I'm going right back. I'm bringing it full circle to 1898 or whenever Nikola Tesla came out with his Tesla coil and started running tests on that to try and provide electric
people on Twitter are saying hoverboards, maybe a space elevator,
a Tesla plane.
Here's the thing.
Flying broom.
Tesla is Elon Musk and Tesla Motors. They are very tech savvy, very advanced, scientific people there in that corporation. So whatever it is, you can believe that it's going to be on this forefront of future tech, and it's gonna have something to do with drones. It's gonna have something to do with 3D printing. 3D printing is
the Elon Musk. Do you think it has something to do with one of those?
Well, 3D printing is gonna play a major role in it.
In his next idea,
it's gonna be
really. I didn't know he was a big 3D printer guy.
Yeah, Tesla is like a lot of that car is 3D printed. I bet.
Wow.
Or some parts on it are.
That would make the most sense. Just have 3D printers manufacture small components, but
I know, like most of it's made with machines, right? Like 80% of the cars.
And something to do with outer space.
Yeah, he's got SpaceX, so
he's got SpaceX. His cousin's running Solar City. They've been in the solar panel and consumer level solar energy business for past several years.
Well, that kind of leads right into this new technology being developed for transparent solar cells.
Oh yeah, for like glass. So like I was actually thinking about that. So they're gonna put them on buildings and stuff like that.
It's great. I mean, think of what covers a majority of everything: cars, cell phones, devices, laptops, all of buildings, all of our skyscrapers. I mean, I think this is like one thing that could make a huge revolution and life-changing in terms of our dependency on fossil fuels.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with the problem with obtaining energy, especially electrical energy.
But see, these transparent solar cells only they only generate a third of what a normal solar panel generates, since it's not like the dark material.
Well, at this moment in time, because as we know, technology, especially now.
But at least it's a great starting point, and I feel like all future buildings should have permits that require you to have solar windows on every single window. I mean, your laptop, your phone, you'll never have to charge. Electricity will never have to be an issue in anything.
Right. Exactly. In your car, you'll have your electric car, and everything else will all be you'll fly electric planes, and everything else will wind up happening.
And that's a great segue into the power generating sewer system. Yeah, the water pipes.
The water pipes, that's right. Yeah, you mentioned that. I didn't really understand how it worked, but I suppose it would be.
So essentially, they're putting turbines into the pipe underground, and the force being used from all the water being used going through the pipes generates some form of electricity. Mm-hmm. Portland, that's where it will start. Portland. So in Portland, they're starting to implement this, and it's the power is just being fed right back to the citizens of Portland. So that's another revolutionary. But I think eventually we're gonna get one of these to work, and it'll be a life-changing technology for everyone. Whether it be transparent solar cells, water energy generating turbine water pipes. I mean, if you could do that with water, you could do that with all the liquids that we always oil. Right?
Yeah, I mean the kind of the tone for this whole discussion really is that there's all these great advancements, and people are focusing on how to become more efficient.
We are becoming more efficient.
That there's just so much energy wasted in our daily lives that we can actually harness and use, and maybe we can lessen the environmental impact or elongate the time of useful life.
Well, I heard China was making a big comeback with giving back to the world, right?
Yeah, they planted a massive amount of trees, an initiative and in Australia as well. It looks like the forests are actually growing back. They're actually growing rather than restricting, which is good for the planet.
Great.
I don't understand really what people are thinking at this moment in time.
I tell you what they're thinking. They're thinking, "Wow, we kind of screwed up. This is our Earth. This is what we have. Maybe we should rethink, demolishing and consuming all these, resources so fast and so wastefully. Now we're at the point where we're like, you know what? Now we gotta bring back. This is our Earth. We gotta take what we can from it and make things more efficient, like solar, energy.
Right, and that's
look. So there has been a total of 1 million. There's 1 million electric vehicle sales globally right now. So it's starting to develop, and we know competition is great.
Right.
For innovation.
Right. Well, electric cars are just better.
With the times being the way they are and money very cheap, there's a lot of innovation going on. It's kind of like where we're living in.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting these next couple years up here. And just to keep it on tech, and since you've been listening for a long time, you might be kind of hungry. So we have an artificial hamburger patty for you.
Yes, we do.
That was grown in the UK from a petri dish. 2 years ago, this hit the news. Cost $250,000 for the patty. A few days ago, they put out an article with one of the doctors saying that it could possibly be $80 for a kilo, which is 2.2 pounds of meat, of ground beef. So if you look at that, you get a burger, 2 burgers out of it for $40 each. 1 pound burgers for $40 each. But then think about 2 years after that, and 5 years down, and 10 years down the road, and they can mass produce these things. That's only going to get rid of all these cattle farms that are producing greenhouse gases, and that such as methane, which is one of the worst gases, greenhouse gases that we have out there. So this is going to totally change everything and probably make natural beef like a supreme delicacy at this point, because you would think that if they would mass produce it like that, it would just be given to the masses.
Yeah, okay, you could totally flip the, I guess, the price point on a cow versus just is it printed? Ground beef or grown? Biologically
I think
grown,
it's just grown. I'm not
beef?
completely sure if it's...
So, I mean, that's, went from being 6 figures. I mean, now a cow could cost you 6 figures.
Right.
If everybody was using that other...
Well, it just goes back to
food.
now we're just creating more efficient ways to eat.
Yeah,
rather than
true.
slaughtering and killing all these
And
ridiculous
again,
cows. I mean, we're getting pretty
having
large
a-
here as a global economy. Almost to 10 billion people. I mean, we want to all eat cheeseburgers every day. That's just not possible.
then we'd all be Americans.
Right. Right, exactly. But yeah, so that's going to change a lot, because once they do hamburgers, they're going to be able to do fries, they're going to be able to do everything, and then they're going to be able to print, they're going to be able to replicate organs, they're going to be able to print your organs, they're going to be able to do these things. Like for me, I have ulcerative colitis awareness here, and pancreatitis awareness. I could get printed a new pancreas, and I could get printed a new what's it called as well?
Colon.
So
Colitis.
colonitis. That actually sounds like the king from that movie 300. Colonitis.
Xerxes.
Xerxes.
Xerxes had all those
When
piercings.
when I hear about technology and these like leaps and bounds that we come across every day, and like for example, this one, growing your own food, your own meat supply. What does that mean for me? Is probably one of the first questions I ask, because I'm very self-centered. And then what does this mean for the rest of the world? And it really makes me think about the bottom, the lower economic, the people with the poorest economies, the poorest education, the poorest conditions. And what does this mean for them? Does this provide... I mean, could we possibly pre-package very cheap food and send it over there, and it's something that is full of all of the vitamins and nutrients that a body would need, and we wouldn't have to worry about, let's say, in the thousands of islands across Micronesia and the Philippines, vitamin deficiencies or things of that nature for these poor people. What are you guys looking at?
I just found another thing from our boy Elon Musk, that Tesla batteries to power entire homes out soon. He says within 6 months it'll be a reality. You'll be able to power your house with these batteries.
Boom.
Which is, that's it.
Tesla coil.
If you can do that, then then you can power any home in the world.
Yeah.
Electricity is no longer a resource. It is a utility for everyone.
Right, exactly. It's just like you go down for battery.
It's just like oxygen. It'll be just like oxygen.
Yep. Yeah, you just put out a solar panel. and you just power your batteries all day, and you just switch batteries, which only makes sense. They put a guy on the moon in 1969, and you're telling me that you did the same way houses were powered back then are the same way houses are powered now? I mean, it's ridiculous how terrible of an infrastructure.
Well, here's the thing.
True. It's weird.
The people that control the world, energy tycoons.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they don't want to. If we have our dependence, we're currently dependent on them for energy, oil, coal, all these plants, and this is a multi-trillion-dollar market right here. They don't want to disappear off the roadmap because they were hindering innovation for so long.
Right,
but it's eventually getting to the point where it's going to tip. The tables are going to turn, and electricity and energy is no longer going to be, expensive. It's going to be available for anyone and everyone.
That's what has to be happening here because, at this point, like if I were to buy a house and I go, oh yeah, this is a lovely home, and they go, okay, yeah, do you want plumbing with it? You want water hookups? You want power run to your home? Like, yeah, I would like all those things. Those should be included in the price of the home.
Yeah.
Right?
That's great, yeah.
It's like I'm buying the house. Shouldn't I get all that stuff with it anyway? Yeah.
Shouldn't I get a hookup for electricity, a water hookup, an internet hookup?
Something, yeah. And I guess you could always, if you don't want to be part of the community utilities, like a water main line, you could dig a well on your property, right?
Yeah, my parents live in the Midwest, and they have a well on their property.
Yeah.
And
there's a lot
so
of
the sprinkler systems that they use, they just tap into the well, and so that's a great resource because essentially it's the water's draining right back into the well.
Right.
So it's like their non-revolutionary recycle of the water. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, that's a great point.
Yep, and speaking of that,
if everyone who's buying Teslas buys one of these home things, Tesla's going to take off.
Oh, yeah. Well, and they call Elon's cousin up, go, hey, yeah, I need some solar panels over here. Hook them up to my Tesla battery. Bam. You done. No electric bill. Ever.
Well, it looks like they're going to hit Costa Rica first because Costa Rica,
the honorary 51st state. Oh, wait, no, it's Puerto Rico.
Has been powered by 100% renewable energy for 75 straight days.
All of Costa Rica has?
All 100% powered with renewable energy, says sciencealert.com. And it says it has a population of 4.8 million. And
that's not a bad size.
Hydropower is accounting for 80% of all their electricity production. And, geothermal's coming up with the rest because they're volcano-rich country.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty cool.
What type of percentage are they relying on for geothermal? What was that figure?
It says that while geothermal energy was reported back in 2010 to account for upwards of 13% of the country's electricity profile.
13%?
Yeah.
Well, that's not bad. I don't know. It really doesn't matter. It could be...
I mean right now it's all proof of concept, right?
Right.
If they're making it up to 100%, whatever your proportions are...
Well, I mean, we could do that. We could do that here. We could do that here. I don't.
We focus on drilling right off of our coast here.
Yeah.
In Huntington Beach.
Exactly.
We got oil platforms and
everything else. So, well, guys, folks, people listening at home, I think that's gonna do it for us here at the Abitcus Tech Talk. We thank everyone for coming and everyone for listening, and we're gonna do this as much as we can when we can. So we'll talk to you guys later and keep teching up.
Bye.